First question, Cody Davis.
Hey, Coach. Do you have any updates on Christian Wood's ankle, and does it look like he might be questionable for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, very questionable. He didn't practice today. It's not looking good. I would be surprised if he played over the weekend.
Adam Spolin.
So if he can't play, does that mean Demarcus would start at center, and then do you guys just play a lot of small ball from that point on?
Yeah, it really depends on the matchup. I think Cuz will probably start against Detroit, but then when we play Dallas with Porzingis, um, we're just gonna have to figure it out. So we're gonna take it as we've been doing all season. We're taking it game by game.
Brent Zwinnerman.
Coach, how nice is it to have a guy like PJ Tucker who it seems like it would take an awful lot to keep him out of a game, to have a guy like that you can count on night in and night out?
Yeah, it's PJ is. There's so many good things about PJ. I mean, as a leader, as a vocal organizer on defense, hard play guy. Wants things to be done the right way. Does the leads by example, and doesn't miss games, like you said. He tweaked something last night and wasn't able to finish the game last night, but he's back in practice today, working hard and ready to go to Detroit and play.
It also speaks to Christian Wood's toughness as well, that he was able to come back into the game for you last night as well and help make a game of it.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to his toughness. It also speaks to both guys' character and what they're all about. It would have been just as easy for Seawood to say he wasn't feeling 100% and not play, and came back in the second half and played really well for us and gave us a chance to win the game when we cut it to 2 in the fourth quarter. So not only do both guys have extreme toughness, but they also have quality character.
Thank you.
Ali Kambajani.
Stephen, wanted to ask you about the defensive rebounding. You guys are ranked, I think, towards the bottom of the league in that category. Can there be something that you can do or the team can do to shore that up, especially with the number of offensive rebounds you've been giving up these last few games?
Yeah, it's a hit first mentality that we've been watching film on, and something that we have to develop. We can't try to out jump people when we're not a extremely big team where we're just gonna take up space and rebound just because we're big like the Lakers. We are not necessarily that big, so we gotta be physical and hit first, and that's the mentality that we have to have, and that's the film study that we have been approaching with the team and showing the team, and it's got to be a group effort as far as the guards coming back in and rebounding the ball as well. So there's a few things to it, but to me, the number one thing is having an attitude that you're gonna hit somebody, box them out, and then go get the basketball.
Brian Bearfield.
Coach, how does your experience as an assistant coach come into play now that you're a head coach when you're dealing with all this adversity of having to switch the lineups and then you have to switch to different schemes and like that? How are you able to call up on that experience?
I mean, when I worked for Rick Carlisle, that's one of like his main things. He was very much on the if this guy isn't playing, then what are we gonna do? How many minutes is good for this player? He has a dry erase board that with all the minutes on it at the minute grid, and he's always like putting initials in and erasing and putting other initials in, and if this guy isn't in, this is what it's going to look like, and that sort of thing. So spending time with Rick, spending time with Steve Clifford, who always believes that players play their best when they know what their minutes are going to look like. It's just the thought that goes into the lineups is something that I learned a lot as an assistant, and having to kind of adjust on the fly depending on which guy is going to be available, whether it's due to COVID or due to injury, has been a challenge this season.
Adam Spolin.
You talked last night about how much time that you spend planning that sort of stuff out. How much does that really just screw with everything once you have a guy who goes out in the second half, like what happened to PJ?
Yeah, it makes it hard, obviously, because you don't want to have to play guys more minutes than they're capable of playing or that they should play. So, yeah, when a guy goes down or goes out, you really have to. Rick Carlisle used to call it Ouija board your lineup and figure it out. It does take some thinking, and one little thing, but it's kind of a big thing. The way that the bench is set up now, and this might sound dumb, but the way the bench is set up now, you're having to look back into the back, as opposed to, it used to be you could just look down your bench and kind of figure it out. But now you're searching for guys, because one guy's sitting here and one guy's sitting there and one guy's sitting over there. So maybe that's just my being naive or being a first-time head coach, but it is kind of a thing for me, trying to find the guys to think about when something like that happens, who's next.
Have you had that happen where you're kind of looking down for someone, but maybe the guy that you're looking for isn't there and he just kind of slips your mind?
No, not slips my mind, but definitely just taking an extra 2 or 3 seconds to look, because if you look at our bench, there will be a lot of times 1 or 2 guys on the front row. So naturally, as a coach, you're looking down and you see the group, but seeing 1 or 2 guys kind of throws you off. So the positioning of where each guy is a thing. But I have a list in my pocket of the group, so I try to look at the list as much as possible.
We'll take 2 more. 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗖𝗧.
Stephen, I wanted to ask you about Demarcus. Obviously, he's been a good player throughout his career. Operates well in the post, high post as a passer. He can shoot the basketball as well as he has for you guys. What can you do for him to be a lot more comfortable? It seems like he hasn't gotten into as much of a rhythm as he did early on this season. Is there something you guys can do to kind of get him more comfortable or back into a rhythm?
Yeah, obviously with Christian most likely out, he's going to get more minutes, and that will have a way of making it a little bit easier on him. He has never in his career come off the bench, and this is new for him, and it's a new experience that that he is kind of going through, and it's up to me in my communication with him to help him along and know that there's some rust there, but it's just different for him, and it's my job to help him and do what I can to help him play to his strengths and be a communicator with him.
And last question, Brian Bearfield.
Coach, has the league talked to you all about the COVID protocol? They had another game that was canceled coming up here this Friday. And have they been talking to you all about that?
No, not that I know of, at least not at my level. But that doesn't mean that there haven't been any conversations upstairs or whatever. But I haven't heard anything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.